I'm Teacher David. Welcome to Manifested Online Program. Today I'll take you through English, and in English we'll start with the language use. Under language use we'll be learning about parts of speech. Welcome. So pupils, let's take our books and write down our topic for today, which is language use. So let us indicate language use in our books so that we move together. And then after language use, we are now learning about parts of speech. Parts of speech. So this is our main focus in today's lesson. And under parts of speech, as you had been taught in your previous classes, we have 8 parts of speech. And the first one, which is commonly known by most of us, the first type of a part of speech are the nouns. So we'll first of all list all of them and then continue with our lesson. So after nouns, we'll move to the second one, which is the verb. So we have verbs. The third type of a part of speech here is the adjective. So we have adjectives. After adjectives, we'll be talking about pronouns. So we have pronouns. After pronouns, we move on to the next part of speech, which is adverbs. So we'll be able to know what adverbs are. After adverbs, we'll move to the next type, which is the preposition. So once we are done with the prepositions, we move to the 7th type of part of speech, which is the conjunctions. Once we are done with the conjunctions, we move to the last part of speech, which we have the interjections. So these are the 8 parts of speech that we have. So maybe you can read them together. The first one, say nouns. The second one, we have verbs. The third one, we have adjectives. The fourth one, we have the pronouns. The fifth, we have adverbs. The sixth part of speech, we have the prepositions. The 7th one, we have the conjunctions. And finally, we have interjections. So our focus for today will be the nouns. So we'll be talking more about nouns in today's lesson. And when we talk about nouns, we should be able to define nouns by the end of the lesson. So as I teach, be ready to know the types, the definition of the term nouns. And then under nouns, we'll talk about different categories of nouns. So you'll be able to give me the names of different categories of nouns. So let us start with the first one. So we have the nouns. So under nouns class, what is a noun? A noun is simply a naming word. So noun is a naming word. A noun is a naming word. So we can use nouns to give the names of different people. For example, if we break down the categories under which we can give the names, we can use here, we can say it gives the names of, first one we have people. It can be used to name people. After people, a noun can as well be used to name things. Once you've given the names of things, we can also be able to give the names of different places. So we have places. Apart from the places, we can also have the names of the physical features. Physical features. And then after the physical features, nouns can also be used to give the names of the emotions. Emotions or feelings. Emotions. And then after emotions, we can also talk about the groups. Groups. So these are the categories under which we can be able to give the names using the nouns. So I want to know the examples of these nouns. So we'll write here examples. So the first example that we'll use here are the names of people. So we have people. So we'll be giving out examples of the names of people. So we'll give at least 5 examples of the names of people. So the first name, we can have Daniel. And Daniel is the name of a boy. The second example that we can use as a name of a person, we have Mohammed. We have Mohammed. And then the third one, we can use Mary. We have Mary. After Mary, we can use Shah. And then lastly, we can use Ezekiel as an example. So we have Ezekiel. So these are the examples of the names of people. So once we have known about the names of people, we have the next one, which will give us the names of things. So I'll make another column here having the names of things. And again, we'll use 5 examples. So we'll have the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and then the fifth. Under the names of things, in our classroom, we can easily see the pens around us. So the first thing that you can use here are the pens. Using the pen, you can be able to write on your books. So we have books as another example of a name of a thing. And then we also have the windows we can see around. Can see the windows. And television is also under the names of things. So we can use television. So we have television as the fourth example. And finally, we can use mangoes. We have mangoes. So these are the examples of things that we have around. Now, after the things that we have listed, we also give examples of the names of places. So we have places. So under places, we can give examples of places. And again, we can use 5 examples. So which places do you know in our country? The first place you can use is, you can talk about Nyeri as a town. Nyeri as a town. And then we have the capital cities. For example, we have Nairobi. Nairobi. And it's not only giving us the names of the towns and the cities, we can also talk about the places we visit frequently. We have churches. So a church is a place. Even where we always learn, classroom. A classroom is still a place, so it's also under the names of places. So we have classroom. And finally, we can use the continents. For example, we live in Africa, so we can use continent Africa. And those are the 5 examples of the names of places. Now, the next category or the next example, we have the physical features. Physical features are the things that you see around. Maybe if you are going on a journey, you've ever seen mountains or hills or rivers somewhere. So these are the physical features. So we'll write the examples here, talking about the physical features. Physical features. So under the physical features, you have mentioned mountains, hills, valleys, roads, rivers. So let us list them here. So the first example that you have mentioned are the mountains. We have the mountains. Mountains. The second one, we have the hills. The third one, we have the valleys. The fourth one, you can talk about rivers. Next, lakes. So these are the physical features that we have. The next group will be emotions. So emotions are the things you feel, whatever you feel, the outcome. For example, somebody can be happy, so the noun under the word happy is happiness. Then we have joy, we have sadness, we have excitement. So let us list these examples of the emotions. So under emotions, the first example will give out 5. So the first example, we've talked about happiness. So happiness. We have joy. We have excitement. Excitement. We have sadness. Sadness is the word anxiety. Moving on to the last category of the nouns, we have the groups. So we have groups. So under groups, this simply means the nouns or the things that we've talked about here coming together to form a larger number. And the example of the groups that we have, when we have very many bees together, we can talk about a swarm of bees. Another one that we can list is a herd of cattle. The next example, we have a bunch of keys or a bunch of bananas. We have a staff of teachers. And the last example, which we will use here, we can use a library of books. So let's list them down one after another. So we're giving the groups of nouns. First example, swarm of bees. The next example is herd of cattle. Herd of cattle. The third example that I'll list here is a library of books. Library of books. In our example 4, we've mentioned a bunch of keys. Then lastly, the last example is a staff of teachers. Now, when we talk about groups here, the group name is the swarm. So the group noun here is the swarm under the swarm of bees. So when there are many, we'll talk about swarm of bees. The next one, the group name here is herd. So we have a herd of cattle. The third example, we have library. So the group name is the library, and it is giving us a group of books, so a library of books. So the next, which is the fourth example, the group term here is a bunch. And the particular bunch we are talking about here is a bunch of keys, because you can as well talk about a bunch of bananas. And then lastly, the group name here is the staff. And the staff we are referring to is a staff of teachers. So these are the examples, some of the examples that we have under the groups of nouns. And when you are writing herd, check the spelling, because there is herd, the past tense of the word here. So herd here is H-E-R-D. So pupils, that marks the end of our today's lesson. And as part of our assignment for today, I'll give you an exercise. So the first question will be, what is a noun? What is a noun? So in our second question, I would like you to give examples of at least 3 nouns based on the following categories. And the first category will be people, followed by things. The third one will be places, physical features, emotions, and lastly, groups. And just for your information, do not pick the examples of the nouns that you have listed here. At least give out your own example. Otherwise, thank you for your time. And in our next lesson, we'll be learning about the different types of nouns. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the lesson. Today we're going to answer question number 4, which reads, read the statements below and answer the questions that follows. Roman 1, data mining relates to turning raw data into useful information. Roman 2, data mining using built-in algorithms should guarantee a result. Which of the following choices apply? A, the two statements are true. B, only the first statement is true. C, only the second statement is true. D, none of the statements is true. So here there are two statements. The first one, data mining relates to turning raw data into useful information. That one is true because we know that data mining is the process of extracting useful and meaningful insights from large sets of data by using tools or techniques. So the statement that data mining relates to turning raw data into useful information is true. Roman 2, data mining using built-in algorithms should guarantee a result. Should do what? Should guarantee a result. Is this statement true or false? The statement is true because the reason for having built-in algorithms is so that a result may be guaranteed. Because if the result is not guaranteed, then there is no point of having built-in algorithms. So data mining tools often come with built-in algorithms that can be used to analyze data and extract insights. And candidates, while these algorithms can be very effective, in some cases they may not guarantee results. Why? Because the accuracy and reliability of the insights generated by data mining depend on the quality and relevance of the data being analyzed, as well as the appropriateness of the algorithms that are used. But if the statement may have read data mining using built-in algorithms must guarantee a result, then the statement would not be true. Here it reads should guarantee, because that's the intention, is to guarantee a result. So the answer here is A, the two statements are true. That one, data mining relates to turning raw data into useful information. Roman 2, data mining using built-in algorithms should guarantee a result. Hello and welcome back to the revision of the ICT paper. Today we are going to answer the last question that was done in December 2021. We've been answering questions right from question number 1. Today we are going to answer the last one. Question 7a reads, describe each of the following types of information systems as used in organizations. Question 7a, Roman 1, describe each of the following types of information systems. The first one is transaction processing system. The transaction processing system. The name suggests, candidates, transaction processing. That means it's a system designed to process and to record routine transactions of an organization. It is designed to process and record. It is a system that is designed to process and to record routine transactions of an organization This system captures and processes data related to day-to-day business activities. That's why you are calling it routine transactions. Day-to-day. It captures and processes data that is related to day-to-day activities such as sales, purchases, inventory management, financial transactions, and so on. And the primary focus of a TPS is on efficiency. The purpose of this system is on accuracy. It is on accuracy. It is on efficiency. The objective is to have accurate capturing of data. There ought to be efficiency in processing and also reliability in processing large volumes of transactions. And reliability in processing large volume of transactions. And candidates, it typically involves real-time or near real-time processing to ensure timely recording of transactions, and the data generated by this system is often used as input for information systems within the organization. That is a transaction processing system. The next one is the management reporting system. Management reporting, let me put it in capital, reporting system, the MRS, management reporting system, is used to generate regular reports. Used to generate regular reports. The management reporting system reporting is used, number one, to generate regular reports that provide management with relevant information for decision making and monitoring organization's performance. So the MRS collects data from various sources within the organization, processes the information, analyzes it, and then presents it in form of reports or dashboards. And these reports often include key performance indicators. They may include key performance indicators. The reports may include financial summaries, the reports may include financial summaries, operational metrics, the reports may include financial summaries, operational metrics, and also other relevant information tailored to meet the needs of different levels of management. And candidates, the management reporting system helps managers track progress. Helps managers track It helps managers to track progress, to identify trends, and make informed decisions based on accurate and timely information. That is the management reporting system. Then we have number 3, decision support system. Decision support system, candidates, is designed to assist managers make non-routine decisions. Designed to assist managers make non-routine decisions. They are designed to assist managers to make non-routine or semi-structured decisions. And DSS provides interactive tools and models that enable managers to analyze data, evaluate different scenarios. It helps managers to analyze data, evaluate different scenarios. It helps managers to analyze data, to evaluate different scenarios, and support decision-making processes. And this system incorporates both internal and external data. Internal and external data. The system incorporates internal and external data, as well as various analytical techniques such as data mining, forecasting, simulation, and so on. So a DSS candidate helps managers to explore alternatives, to assess risks, and also evaluate the potential outcomes of different decisions. And it provides a flexible and interactive interface that allows users to manipulate data, generate reports, visualize results to support effective decision making, and so on. So these are three types of systems. And candidates, it's important to note that these three types of information systems can overlap and complement each other within an organization because they serve different purposes and cater to the needs of different users. But they often interact and share data to support the overall functioning of the organization. 2 marks each. Transaction processing, 2 marks. Management reporting system, 2 marks. Decision support system, 2 marks. Total 6 marks. That is part A of the question. Part B of the question reads, XYZ Company Limited intends to implement a new information system. Explain 3 organization factors that should be considered to ensure success of the system. 3 organization factors. Organizational factors to consider to ensure success of implementation of a new information system. What are the factors? The first factor is culture. Consider 1, organizational culture. Organizational culture. The existing organizational culture plays a significant role in the success of implementation of a new information system. The system should align with the values, the norms, and also the practices of the organization. And if there is a resistance to change or lack of support from employees, then it can hinder the implementation process. So assessing the organization's culture and addressing any cultural barriers is crucial for successful implementation. That's the first factor. Number 2, leadership and management support. Leadership and management support. strong leadership and management support are essential for the success of any implementation of a new system. Leadership and management support. The leadership should provide clear direction. It should allocate resources and actively participate in the implementation process. The management should also communicate the benefits of the system and address any concerns or resistance from employees. So having a committed leadership and management support increases the likelihood of successful implementation of a new information system. 3, user involvement. User involvement, and users must not only be involved but also be trained. User involvement and training. Involving end users in the implementation process is crucial for their acceptance and adoption of the new system. And users should be engaged early. They are to be involved early, not only at the implementation phase, but at the initial stages. When the system is being developed, or when at the planning phase, then the users have to be involved early enough so that they can understand their needs, and they can also help gather feedback and address any concerns or resistance. So there ought to be also adequate training that should be provided to ensure users are proficient in using the new information system. They should also be trained and educated on the benefits of the new information system. So user training and user involvement contributes to satisfaction, reduce resistance, and increase system utilization. So these are 3 factors to consider to ensure success of implementation of a new system. 6 marks. Each 2 marks. 1, 2, 3, 6 marks. That is part B. Part C, explain 3 types of applications of Internet of Things in the government sector. Application of Internet of Things in the government sector. Application of Internet of Things. Application of Internet of Things. Now, there are various applications of Internet of Things in the government sector. Applications. One is what we call smart infrastructure management. Smart infrastructure management. Smart infrastructure management. Internet of Things can be used to monitor and manage public infrastructure such as roads, bridges, buildings, and so on. Sensors and connected devices can provide real-time data on infrastructure conditions, enabling proactive maintenance. It can also reduce downtime and enhance public safety. For example, Internet of Things sensors can detect structural weaknesses in bridges and alert authorities to take prevention or to take preventive measures. 2, public safety. Public safety and emergency management. Now, Internet of Things can improve public safety and emergency response by providing real-time data and connectivity. We may have what we call smart surveillance systems. We may have connected emergency response vehicles and also wearable devices that can enhance situational awareness and enable faster response to incidents. For instance, Internet of Things enable sensors can detect hazardous conditions such as high levels of air condition or pollution or the presence of harmful chemicals. And then the sensors can alert authorities to take appropriate actions. 3, smart city initiatives. Smart city initiatives. Now, Internet of Things plays a crucial role in the development of smart cities. It enables the collection and analysis of data from various sources to optimize resource usage, to improve service delivery, and also enhance the quality of life for citizens. We can have things like smart parking systems. We may have smart energy management and also smart waste management as examples of the Internet of Things applications in smart city initiatives. So these are applications that can help optimize resource allocation. They can reduce congestion and also improve the overall efficiency of urban services. So applications, smart infrastructure management, number 1. Number 2, public safety and emergency management. Then number 3, smart city initiatives. These are 3 applications, 6 marks. Then moving on to the last part of this question, outline 2 features of a word processing document. Features of a word processing program, not document but program. Features of a word processing program. Features of a word processing program. Features of a word processing program. Now, one feature is document editing and formatting. A word processing program edits and formats documents. It allows users to create, to edit and format documents, and users can enter and modify text. They can apply formatting such as font styles, sizes. They can change font sizes. They can change the colors. They can adjust paragraph alignment. They can have also, they can add headings into a document, bullet points. The program can also help have numbered lists. So these are features that provide flexibility and control over the appearance and layout of a document. So document editing and formatting is one feature of a word processing program. Number 2, spell checking and grammar correction. Spell checking and grammar correction. Word processing programs typically include built-in spell checking and grammar correction tools. And this feature helps users identify and correct spelling errors, grammatical mistakes, punctuation errors, and so on in their documents. So the program highlights potential errors and suggests corrections, improving the accuracy and professionalism of the written content. So these are two features of a word processing document. Number one, document editing and formatting. Number two, spell checking and grammar correction, 2 marks. So thank you for attending the lesson. We've answered question number 7 that was done in December 2021. We are committed and dedicated to ensuring that you have all the learning materials you need as you prepare for your exams. We have developed the class video lectures for all the subjects under the CPA course and the CS course. Furthermore, we have answered questions, past paper, Kasneb past paper questions for all the CPA subjects, which can be accessed on our website, www.manifestepublishers.com, and we allow you to download all the content so that you can use it without internet connectivity. Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's session. We are going to study substitution, all right? Now, substitution may look like a term you've heard in mathematics, but here we are just substituting by replacing a word or a group of words by another text. So it is the replacement of a word or a group of words to avoid repetition. So it is the replacement of a word or a group of words to avoid repetition, okay? It is the replacement of a group of words by a text, okay? It is the replacement of a word, of a group of words by a text, all right? So one way, words that can be used to substitute, all right? Words that can be used in substitution include, before I get there, we will say that it is the replacement of a word or a group of words to avoid repetition. So for example, you can have a word like I bought oranges, but the ones that are found in Kiambu. So I bought oranges, but the ones that are found in Kiambu. So here I'll rub this and write. So here we are replacing the word oranges, so that are found in Kiambu. So I bought oranges, but the ones that are found in Kiambu. So here, ones has been used to replace the word, the oranges, all right? So words that can be used to ensure that the substitution include ones. We have one, we have so, we have same, we have does, we have then, we have that, we have neither, So we say that words that can be used in substitution, include ones, one, so, same, does, then, that, neither. Before I get to types of substitution, because now they are used to replace words, but in different ways, okay? Types that, there are different word types in substitution. So we just say that substitution is where we replace a word or a group of words to avoid repetition, and we can say that there are ways in which you can do substitution. So types, well, let's look at types of substitution. So number one, we have nominal substitution. Okay, so these are words that replace nouns. So nominal from nouns. Nominal substitution, where we have words that replace nouns, and they include one, ones, same. Okay, now I like chocolate, but only the fruity ones. So here, so I like chocolates but only the fruity ones. So here, ones has been used to replace chocolates. Okay, let me give you an example. One sentence, I will have some tea. So sentence B could be, I will have the same. So same has been used to replace some tea. I will have some tea. Question part B, I will have the same. So the same has been used to replace some tea, so that you don't repeat the word some tea. All right, so it avoids repetition. Number two, we have verbal substitution. So here we have words that replace what? Verbs. That replace verbs, and they include so, okay, does, okay. So that we have example, I have eaten oranges. Part A, so has he. Okay, I have eaten oranges, so has he. So has replaced which word? Eaten. Okay, word eaten. So we have another one. We have adverbial. So time adverbial substitutes. So we have time adverbial substitutes. They replace adverbs of time, so that we have then and that. Okay, I will be leaving Nairobi at 9 o'clock, and I will want to meet you before then. So then, I will be leaving Nairobi at 9 o'clock and I will want to meet you before then. So then has replaced 9 o'clock. Then has replaced 9 o'clock. So it is replacing a time adverbial. Okay. Another example. We have so sentence A. I talked to him today. So that was the best time since he was to leave the next day. So that has replaced today. Okay, that has been used to replace today. So the fourth one is clausal substitution, and this is where words replace clauses. Okay, a word has been used to replace a clause, for example, and they include so and not. They are used to replace clauses. Example in sentences. Maybe you can say Nick has never been to Eldoret, so have I. Nick has never been to Eldoret, so have I, meaning so have I never been to Eldoret. So has been used to, so you know, this idea of never been to Eldoret. Okay, and another one could be, oh, you can make the sentence better so that it doesn't, I can still replace it as Nick has been to Eldoret, so have I. So have I. So has been used to replace have been to Eldoret. Been to Eldoret has used been to replace been to Eldoret. Okay, now another one could be might not notice. She might notice you if not wave a hand. So she might notice you if not wave a hand. So not has been used to replace notice you. If she does not notice you, wave a hand. So not has been used to do what? To replace notice you. If she does not notice you, if she might not notice you, it has been used to replace if she might not notice you. If she might not notice you. So not has been used to replace might not notice you. She might not notice you. So that is all for the types of what? Words that can be used to substitute, okay, in their usage. So I'm going to give you a very short exercise on the same, but this one will just for trial and maybe for practice. Then we end our lesson. Okay, so fill in the blanks with an appropriate substitute. Number one, are you going to eat those fruits? If dash, please may I have them? Then number two, will we be expected to work on Christmas Eve? I hope dash. This is an exclamatory. Okay. I am looking for an old file. Is this the dash? Amina has been wanting to go on a holiday. I know she dash. All right, so attempt to fill in with an appropriate substitute. Okay, so we have come to the end of the lesson. I hope you have realized that substitution is where we replace a word, we are a group of words with one word to avoid repetition. And we've said that there are some particular words that can be used to do so. We have words like so, one, once, same. Depending, we have nominal substitution, we have clausal substitution, we have verbal substitution, we have time adverbial substitutes where they replace time. All right. So when we meet next time, we will be looking at ellipsis, and it's almost the same thing as a substitution, but it's on a different level. Okay. So have a wonderful time.
Hello learners, I'm back again to continue with the study of secondary Christian religious education. In the last lesson, I gave an outline of the Form 4 syllabus. Today we want to begin with the first chapter. And the first chapter is Introduction to Christian Ethics. Introduction to Christian Ethics. This is secondary Christian religious education. We are starting the first chapter, which is Introduction to Christian Ethics. Christian Ethics. Introduction to Christian Ethics is the first chapter. The first chapter. Now, before the end of this lesson, or by the end of this lesson, you should be able to do the following. Learners, by the end of this chapter, by the end of this chapter, the learner should be able to, the learner should be able to do the following. Number one, the first objective is that by the end of this chapter, you should be able to explain the meaning of Christian ethics. Explain the meaning of Christian ethics. Of Christian ethics. The second objective is that you should be able to explain the basis of Christian ethics. Explain the basis of Christian ethics. Number three, the third objective, by the end of this chapter, you should be able to describe and appreciate Christian ethics. Describe and appreciate Christian ethics. Describe and appreciate Christian ethics. Then lastly, by the end of this chapter, the learner should be able to explain life skills and apply them in making critical life decisions. Explain life skills. Number 4, should be able to explain life skills. The learner should be able to explain life skills and apply them in making critical life decisions, and apply them in making critical life decisions. You can see this subject is very important because this is one of the things, the chapters we are going to be covering, Introduction to Christian Ethics, and that's what we are going to do. These are 4 learning objectives for the first chapter. Learners, we will begin with the meaning of Christian ethics? What's the meaning of Christian ethics? And before we give the meaning of Christian ethics, we're going to define the term ethics first. We are going to define this term, ethics, because we are talking of Christian ethics. Before we explain the meaning of Christian ethics, we will give the meaning of the term ethics. What's the meaning of ethics? Learners, the word ethics is derived from the Greek word, there are two Greek words. Number one is ethos, which means character, and ethikos. Number two, ethikos, which means custom or conduct. So the word ethikos derives its root from two Greek words, ethos and ethikos, where ethos means character and ethikos means custom or conduct, And the word ethics is broadly used to refer to standard of conduct or guidelines, okay? Is a standard of conduct or guidelines. And these guidelines are meant to help people behave in a certain way, okay? They are broadly used to refer to standard of conduct or guidelines for behavior. In other words, ethics is a set of rules, okay? Let me write, means a set of rules or beliefs. The set of rules or norms or principles of right conduct, or principles of right conduct for a specified group of people, for a particular group of people. We can also say that ethics is concerned with the values relating to human conduct with respect to the rightness or wrongness of certain actions. With respect to rightness or wrongness, with respect to rightness or wrongness of certain actions. So ethics also refers to a set of moral principles. This refers to a set of moral principles. If you are to define the term ethics, you can just say ethics is a set of moral principles or values or attitudes that govern or control or influence a person's behavior or conduct. Okay? These are just rules. These are principles that guide human relationships. They guide human relationships. Or we can also say ethics is a study of morality. Because sometimes the word ethics is used interchangeably with the word morals. Ethics refers to morals, all right? And you remember in Form 1, we defined morals as the ideals or the standards or principles of good behavior. Okay, morals we defined in Form 1 as the ideals or standards of good behavior, and therefore morals, just like ethics, influence a person's behavior by determining what is right or what is wrong. Each community has a set of rules which determines the rightness or the wrongness of actions. Every group of people, if people stay together, then they develop what we call a ethics or set of rules which will guide behavior of persons. And each member of that group or community is expected to uphold or to obey these rules to ensure that there is peaceful and harmonious coexistence. If you have a group of people staying together, living together, then there has to be some form of guidelines on how they are going to relate to each other. And this has been the case since time immemorial, including even in the African traditional communities, right? There were a set of rules which were referred to as taboos, right? Where there are a group of people, then they will always have some rules which may be written or not written. So there are these traditional African communities which also had such societal principles and standards of good behavior, okay? And they were collectively referred to as taboos. So learners, though human beings may be different, may have different preferences or different tastes and aspirations, okay? They may have different tastes, preferences, or aspirations. Their conduct must be aligned. Each individual's conduct must be aligned with those of the rest of the community. Okay? This is to ensure mutual concern for one another, and also uniformity in character and behavior. And any action in such a community that is not that is contrary to the existing standards or principles of expected behavior, then such conduct is said or termed is said to be unethical. Unethical or immoral. The individual who goes against the set rules, the set standards, the principles, the norms, all right? Then we say that individual is behaving unethically, okay? Is going contrary to the set principles. And in African traditional societies, failure to comply with what I call taboos and one severe punishment. So those who did not adhere to the taboos, they were severely punished. There are those who are even banished, okay, from the society. There are those who are stoned. So there was severe punishment for any unethical behavior within the African traditional communities. So ethics, candidates, again, I can say, is about choices. It's about actions which form and express our character, okay? Ethics is about choices. We make choices. We choose this action which may be seen to be right, or it may be deemed to be a wrong action. So these actions form or express our conduct or our character. They express our character. So ethics is, in other words, again, the art of making wise choices for the good of others and for our own good. Okay, when you are told to behave in a certain way, it's not just to please your parents or your teachers, when you are asked to behave ethically, is for your own benefit and for the benefit of others. Okay, it is for our own benefit that we do what is good and shun what is not good. So ethics is based on just moral values and attitudes that determine an individual's behavior, and also societal behavior such as generosity. You can mention some of these values: generosity, honesty, generosity, honesty. Being honest simply means being truthful, being open-minded. Okay, we have respect, okay, as a value. Okay, respect is also a social value. We are also most of the time told to be humble, humility. There is kindness, and so on. Kindness and so on. All these moral values, these are moral values. When you exhibit, when you are generous, or when you are honest, or when you are respectful, or when you are humble or kind, this is for your own benefit and also for the benefit of the society. There are all these values lead to happy life, prosperous life, life without stress, stress-free life. So we will be looking into these matters as we move on. So candidates, in our today's lesson I have defined the term ethics. Ethics. We are going to take a short break. When I come back, we will define Christian ethics. We've defined ethics from a general viewpoint. Generally speaking, we've said that ethics is derived from the Greek words, two Greek words, ethos and ethikos, which means character and custom or conduct respectively. We have also given alternative meanings of the word ethics. We've said is a set of rules, norms, or principles of right conduct. Is a set of moral principles. Is a study of morality. I've said morals and ethics are used interchangeably. We've said that these principles, these norms are practiced in any group of people. People who stay together, they come up with rules, which is to regulate their conduct and living harmoniously. Individuals who do not obey these rules for example, the traditional African society, they were punished. They were regarded unethical or immoral, and they were punished severely. We've also said that ethics is the art of making wise choices for the good of others and also for the good of yourself. And it is also based on moral values and attitudes that determine individuals' behavior and societal behavior. We've given examples of these values: generosity, honesty, respect, humility, and kindness. So thank you for being attentive. In the next lesson, we are going to take a short break. When we come, we will define Christian ethics. Bye-bye. Greetings and welcome back to the lesson. We continue with the revision of the paper that was done in December 2021. Today I'm going to answer question number 4, which is in two parts, A and B. We'll first answer part A, which says, discuss the importance of leadership as a function of management. Importance of leadership. Importance of leadership as a function of management. Now, leadership is the art of motivating and influencing subordinates to perform their duties willingly and effectively to achieve the set organizational goals. It is the art of doing what? Of motivating and influencing subordinates to perform their duties willingly and effectively to achieve organizational goals. The question is, what is the importance of leadership as a function of management? The first point is that leadership helps to initiate action. Leadership helps to do what? To initiate action by people in the organization towards attainment of desired objectives. For example, if a supervisor guides his or subordinates and clarifies their doubts in performing tasks, then it will help the worker to achieve the targets given to him or to her. It helps to initiate action. Leadership also integrates employees' efforts. This is another reason why leadership is important as a function of management. It does what? Leadership integrates employees' efforts in the organization in such a way that every individual's effort contributes to organizational performance. And therefore, it ensures that individual work will be in a position to convince the employees working under him that their efforts and teamwork will lead to the achievement of organizational goals. It integrates employees' efforts. The employees need a leader because employees perform different efforts. All these efforts that employees put into or all these tasks that employees perform, they are geared towards achieving general objectives. So all these efforts must be directed, must be integrated so that organizational objectives are met. Leadership also guides employees to exploit their potential or to fully realize their potential. To fully realize their potential. Leadership guides employees to fully realize their potential and capabilities by motivating and providing effective leadership through motivation and effective leadership. And therefore, a good leader can always identify the potential of his or her employees and motivate them to extra work up to their full potential. Number 4, facilitates introduction of needed changes. Leadership facilitates the introduction of the needed changes in an organization. And generally, people have a tendency to resist change. And therefore, effective directing through motivation, through communication, and leadership helps to reduce such resistance. And it helps develop required cooperation in introducing changes in the organization. So that's one reason why leadership is important. It facilitates introduction of the needed changes. Another point is in relation to stability. Stability. Effective directing or leading helps to bring stability and balance in the organization. Why? Because it fosters cooperation, it fosters commitment among the people, and helps achieve balance among various groups, balance among various activities and departments. Stability and balance facilitates stability and balance. Leadership also influences behavior. Leadership does what? Leadership influences the behavior of the employees and makes them to positively contribute their energies for the benefit of the organization. Yet another point is that a leader maintains personal relations and helps followers in fulfilling their needs. A leader provides the needed confidence. A leader can do what? Can provide the needed confidence to the employees. The leader may provide support. The leader may provide encouragement, the needed encouragement. Leaders may also provide counseling services to the employees and thereby create what we call congenial work environment, a conducive work environment. Do you understand? There are many roles or functions that leaders play. A leader may handle conflicts. In the workplace, conflicts are inevitable. Where people are working, people from different backgrounds, people from different diversities, when they come together, conflicts are inevitable. It is the work of the leader to handle conflicts, to manage the conflicts at the workplace. A good leader always allows his followers to ventilate their feelings, their disagreements, but persuades them by giving suitable clarification or helping them to resolve any conflicts that may arise. A leader may also training the subordinates, provides training to the subordinates. A good leader will always build up, for example, his successor and helps the smooth, it helps in the what we call smooth succession process. So these are some of the reasons why leadership is important as a function of management. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any 7 points here will earn you the needed 7 marks. Part B of this question reads, communication is an important tool in project management. With reference to the above statement, explain 4 factors that may lead to the failure of a project. Factors that might lead to failure of a project due to lack of communication. Here, the question is not a general one. The question is specific to the statement that good leadership entails continually, it says that with reference to the above statement, what is the statement? The statement is that communication is an important tool in project management. With reference to the above statement, explain 4 factors that may lead to the failure of a project. And therefore, the question can be paraphrased: factors that might lead to failure of a project due to lack of communication. It was very easy. It's very easy to misinterpret this question as being a general question requiring students to explain factors that might lead to failure of a project. The question is in relation to lack of communication. How can lack of communication lead to failure of a project? Now, having understood the question, we can now proceed to answer it. One point is that communication is required at all levels of management, whether it is between the upper management, between the team, or communication with the users, or communication with stakeholders. Inadequate or poor communication is a leading cause of many project failures. And everyone should feel free to come forward to express their concerns, to express their failure, to express their grievances, and so on. To give suggestions. When everyone is on the same page and the project has transparency, then workflow is at the optimum level. So, lack of communication in that respect can lead to failure of a project. Inadequate or poor communication. When everyone is involved, when everyone is on the same page, where there is transparency. Transparency means openness. When the communication channels are open, then that can lead to success of a project. So number 1, lack of transparency. Number 2, honesty. Honesty. Honesty is very important because trust is built upon virtue. And the deficiency of trust in a project that requires multi-interpersonal communications can surely affect the outcome of the project. Number 3, pressure. Pressure. Pressure can cause can cause the employees to make mistakes, which could be personal mistakes, and personal mistakes can be in form of incorrect and inaccurate outcomes, and therefore pressure can affect people psychologically and physically, which will ultimately affect their output. Poor role clarity. Number 4, poor role clarity is another factor. Poor role clarity in an organization can lead to problems. Or I can say it is an organizational problem that involves a person not being fully aware of their duties, not being fully aware of the responsibilities, and so on. So all the stakeholders must know their roles in order to perform efficiently and perform their communication duties as and when required. Poor coordination. Poor what? Poor coordination is another organizational rooted problem where chaos may occur as a result of proper coordination of the tasks. Because coordination leads the stakeholders to undertake their responsibilities in the manner required at the right time through the correct channels that are indicated before the project is initiated. And it is a continuous managerial responsibility to keep the team functional and organized. So the leader, project manager, has to ensure that there is proper coordination by communicating the responsibilities that are required, the kind of duties that are required by everyone who is involved in the execution of the project. Number 6, lack of knowledge within the project team. Lack of knowledge within the project team can halt their readiness to communicate due to inadequate information that they possess. Lack of training. Lack of training, we know, does not provide the stakeholders with the professional knowledge required to carry out successful communication process. So candidates were to give 4 factors that may lead to failure of a project. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, any 4 here, 8 marks. That's question number 4, December 2021. We've done question 4. In our next lesson, we are going to do question number 5, which says, with reference to enterprise management, define the following terms. Number 1, innovation. Number 2, invention. Number 3, creativity. B, analyze 4 arguments against management as a profession, 4 marks. C, discuss 4 approaches to ethical decision making, 8 marks. I hope to see you in our next session where we'll answer question number 5. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Manifested Publishers.
Welcome, dear learner, to Manifested e-learning platform. I'm your teacher today, Conan Gakure, and we are going to have a history and government lesson. We are going to have a history and government lesson. Our topic for today, we are going to look at world wars. We are looking at world wars. Remember, in our previous topic, we introduced and defined what world war. And my dear learner, would you be able to remember the definition that we gave for world wars? And I guess you can remember that we said a world war is a war that composed or that was involved so many countries, and it was between, or countries between, different continents. That is how we defined a world war. It's a war that involved many countries, and it happened on different continents. That is a world war. So our subtopic for this lesson, we are going to look at the subtopic. We are going to look at the causes of World War One. We are going to look at the causes of World War One. That is what we are going to look at. We are going to look at the causes of World War One. Remember, in our previous lesson, we discussed and we said they have been in our human existence. We have had 2 world wars. First World War, or what we refer to as World War One, and World War II, which is also referred to as the Second World War. So in our lesson today, we are going to discuss what caused, or what were the causes of the First World War, or what were the causes of World War One. So my dear learner, I would like to mention that World War One, or the First World War, is also referred to as the Great War. It is also referred to as the Great War. So today we are going to discuss what are these causes that caused this Great War. And in our lesson, we are going to discuss, we are going to explain 7 causes that resulted to the First World War. So number 1, formation of alliances. Formation of alliances. That is the first cause of World War One. And then number 2, we have imperialism. Imperialism is our next cause of World War One. And then number 3, we have the Franco-Prussian War. We have Franco-Prussian War as our third cause of the World War One. And then number 4, we are going to discuss something we refer to as arms race. Arms race, which is also referred to as militarism. Or arms race. Not worry, my learner, we are going to explain or going to discuss more so that you can understand what these terms mean. So we are just stating them, all of them, and then one by one we are going to discuss them. And then number 5, we are going to look at the first and second Moroccan crisis. So I'm sure all of you have had a nation in West Africa known as Morocco. So we get the word Moroccan crisis. And then number 6, we are going to look at the nationalism of Balkans. These are a people in Europe. We are going to discuss them. And then lastly, we are going to look at the assassination of someone known as Franz Ferdinand. We are going to look at the assassination of Franz Ferdinand. So, my dear learners, if you are asked to state the causes of the World War, these are the causes of the First World War. I've said number one, it was formation of alliances, or the system of alliances. And then number two, imperialism. We are going to explain what that is. And then number three, Franco-Prussian War. And then number four, we have arms race. Number five, we have first and second Moroccan crisis. And then number six, we have nationalism of the Balkans. And then lastly, we have the assassination of Franz Ferdinand, which this is the most important point as we are going to discuss, but let me not preempt it. We are going to come to the very end as we explain what that means. So, my dear learner, let us start by looking at the formation or the system of alliances. Formation of alliances. Formation of alliances. That is our first cause of the First World War. So you ask yourself, what is an alliance? What is an alliance? So when you talk of an alliance, it is a union or different groups coming together for their mutual benefit. You can find, for example, let me give an example. When you have elections in Kenya, you find different political parties coming together so that they can fight or they can compete against another group of political parties. For example, in our last elections, we had two camps that were, two biggest camps that were rivaling for the presidency or to lead this nation. We had the Jubilee Alliance, which now became a party. And then, which was the other alliance that happened or that was in our elections? Can you remember? Yes, we had the CORD, yeah, or the NASA. Not actually CORD was the previous one. For the elections, we had NASA, the National Super Alliance. So you find that in, for example, NASA, we had different parties coming together to form this alliance. You can go and research which are these private or these individual parties. So when you talk of an alliance, we are saying there were different countries that came together to form an alliance so that they can benefit from one another. If one country needed help, the other country could come and be able to stand with them. So which are these alliances that were made? The first alliance that we are going to look at, it was between Germany came up together with Austria, Hungary. Initially, these two nations came together to form what we refer to as the dual alliance. But later on, they were joined with another. They joined with another country referred to as Italy, and then the three of them formed what we call the Central Powers. They formed the Central Powers, or in other words, it was also referred to as the Triple Alliance. So these three countries came together to form a group which was referred to as Central Powers or Triple Alliance. But initially, Germany and Austria had made an agreement between the two countries, which was at that time referred to as the dual alliance. So at some point you could be asked, who are the parties of the dual alliance? So the answer is Germany and Austria. Then, in opposition to this, we find another group of countries that came together. We have the British. We have the British. They came together with France, and then they were also having. They came together with Russia. So these three also formed an alliance, which was referred to as Triple Entente, or you can call it Entente. This is a French word. They came to form the Triple Entente, which we can also call Entente in our language. But these are a French word, which is also referred to as the Allied powers. So these groups of countries, this group going against this group, they formed alliances. So if Britain was in a situation with Italy, for example, these other countries could come and help them resolve the issue with Italy. If Italy was in an issue with British, the two countries could come and join them to fight against the British. But Mailana, I want you to note that as the war progressed, more countries came to join either parties. At the end of it, we are going to look at what are these countries that came to fight. So how did this formation of alliances result to the World War? You ask a question like that. How come just by forming two alliances, we have an outbreak of a world war? So you'll find that when you know you have a friend, when you know you have a group of people, you can be able to make any decision because you know there is somebody who will come to help you. There is somebody who will come to fight by you. So this system of alliances made these countries to do what? To make rash decisions. So each country, which was actually between Germany and France, who are the biggest participants, you would find that they could make any kind of decision because they know they have other countries to come and back them against the other country. So that is all about the formation of alliances. So these two alliances acted or laid ground for the World War. Now we look at the next cause or the next cause of the World War. We look at imperialism. Imperialism. So when you talk of imperialism, or when you mention the word imperialism, this refers to the action of a country. The action of a country extending its power beyond its borders. Beyond its borders. That is what we refer to as imperialism. So you find these powers wanted to exert, they wanted to show their might beyond their own boundaries by getting extra territory in other countries. You can get these countries by looking at the colonization process that was happening. It happened in Africa, it happened in the Americas. So these powers, which at that time we could call them superpowers, they wanted to exert their power to other areas. So you find that these countries were trying to to outdo, to compete against one another, to find out who has more colonies, who has a bigger territory, who has more influence even in other places. So imperialism resulted to competition. Imperialism resulted to competition amongst the countries. These resulted to them having quarrels. They could fight against one another, trying to get supremacy. Who is more superior to the other? And then, my dear learners, let us go to the next course. Which was our next course? Number 3. We said it is Franco-Prussian War. Franco-Prussian War. Franco-Prussian War. So, my dear learners, we have talked of France, we have talked of Germany. Before they formed these alliances, there was a war that erupted between France and an empire that was referred to as Prussia. This war was happening in 1870. 1870. This war happened in 1870 to 1871. So in this war, France lost very rich provinces. France lost the iron-rich provinces. France lost the iron-rich provinces. Why do you think it was a big deal for France to lose a province which is rich in iron? They lost a province that was very rich in iron. Iron during the 19th century was very important in the market, because this is the time we are having industrialization. This is the time we are having industries being built. And in that industry, you need iron to make those machines. You need iron to make rail. You need iron to produce different items, household items, items used to farm, different items. They needed iron. So during this war, France lost these provinces, which by they are known or which are called Alsace, and Lorraine. So these are the two provinces that France lost. So France became very bitter as a nation. They became demoralized. They became very bitter. How can we lose our biggest source of income? Because iron at that time was very important in the market. So that is how the Franco-Prussian War encouraged the World War. Because once France has been defeated, it normally has to find, or it encouraged them to go and find partners whom they could partner with, so that in case there is a problem, right? In case there is a problem, France could have somebody or could have a friend who could be able to encourage them. So the bitterness that the French got from losing these two provinces encouraged them to even to be able to fight other people, because you find Prussia now became a territory of Germany. From France, Prussia became a territory of Germany. So there was that bad blood between France and Germany. So that is all about the Franco-Prussian War. So my dear learners, you could go and find some more information you learn, but for that is the basic, or that is how the Franco-Prussian War resulted to the formation, or resulted to the World War, because now it has to compete against Germany, which has taken two of its richest provinces. Now, my dear learner, let us go to the next cause of the World War. Which was the next cause? Now, we go back, we come and look here. It is the arms race. The arms race. That is our next cause. The arms race. The arms race. Or what we are referring to as militarism. When you talk, the word militarism comes from the word military. So in the 19th century, or during this time when we are having the World War, which is happening, that was around 1914 to 1918, as we mentioned in our previous class. That is when the First World War happened. There was an arms race. The period before 1914, there was an arms race by the European powers. So the European powers were competing to produce arms for their countries. So when you talk of an arms race, it is the situation where the European powers were competing against one another to see who is going to produce more powerful weapons, more disastrous arms. They were fighting whose military is stronger. So at this, at the arms race, every country was conscripting armies. There was conscription of armies. Conscription of armies. When you talk of conscription, it's what we refer to as a recruitment. So you would find that the armies, by the time 1914 was coming, every country that we have mentioned here, all these countries who are the biggest players in the First World War, they had almost doubled the number of their army by the time the First World War was coming to a start. So they had to compete. They were competing against each other. Who has the strongest weapon? At this time, we find even warships being created. We find even more disastrous weapons, machine rifles. Just everybody or every country was trying to find which weapon can I produce that my enemy does not have. Like, for example, when you look at this, you will find that the British were trying to produce arms that are better than the arms produced by the Germans. You'll find that the Russians are trying to produce arms that are better than the Germans, even amongst themselves, because even as you are fighting together, you need to arm yourself. So you'll find Russia is producing arms that not any other country among all these is able to produce. That is what we are referring to as an arms race. Each country was at a rush. Let us make the best weapons so that we could best defend ourselves. Are you together, my learner? Yes, that is all about arms race. And then let us look at the next point. Let us look at the next point. Allow me to rub here. Allow me to rub here so that we can discuss them.
Thank you for choosing to study with us. For more information, you can call us on 0724 173845.